much sense, doesn't it? Oh, thank you so much. Lovely to hear from him. Thank you.
Let's see, time now is 8:51. From today, everyone who is double jabbed in England and Northern Ireland will no longer need to self-isolate if they're alerted by the NHS COVID app.
So we have sent Ben to a bar and a restaurant for us on the River Thames to find out what it's going to mean for staff absences within the hospitality industry. Good morning again, Ben.
Yeah, good morning to you both. And let me tell you, if you were with us earlier, it was all very smooth. The tide has come in, it's lifted us up, and it's very rocky here on the barge this morning. So bear with us if you're feeling a little bit seasick, because I certainly am. Yes, good morning, though, because today, really important day for hospitality firms like this, particularly, that have struggled so much over the last few months with that pingdemic. The number of people who've been told to self-isolate. It's meant that many firms have just not been able to get the staff to turn up for work because they've been isolating at home. But as Charlie was saying, today marks an important change to those rules. So let me explain to you what they are, because if you've had both doses of the vaccine and you're contacted by that NHS app, you will not have to self-isolate at home for 10 days, provided you have had those 2 doses. What they're saying instead is to take a PCR test. And what is crucially different here is you don't have to isolate while you wait for the results of that test, but you will be encouraged to wear a mask and cut your contact with other people until you find out. Of course, if you are tested positive, then you should isolate. But it's hoped that this change in the rules will allow firms to get back to some sort of normality and make sure that they're not susceptible to the problems of that pandemic that meant whole swathes of their workforce were not able to turn up for work. Well, let me introduce you to the general manager here, who is Kerryn. She's with us this morning. Hey, Kerryn.
Hi.
Look, it's been so difficult, hasn't it, running somewhere like this with so many tables when a lot of your staff were being pinged, including yourself.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think we're in a very fortunate position to have a big team and a fantastic team, really, and everybody chips in when needed. And our sister vessel, Tamesis Dock, is just down the way, so we're lucky to be able to share staff between both boats, really. But of course, a very difficult situation.
And the hardest part, I suppose, is the short notice. You know, people calling you saying, look, I can't come to work, Kerryn, you know, maybe an hour before their shift was supposed to start, so you're left in the lurch. You know, how have customers dealt with it?
I think generally, like, most people have been really understanding. I think everybody's kind of realising people are still finding their feet, especially given the circumstances. But yeah, obviously it's not a great situation.
And things are looking up now, so you're getting back to some sort of normality. How 100%. Confident are you about the weeks and months to come?
Really, very, very confident. Like I said, the team is great. We've really come together and really are there to support each other and to fill in where needed and to try and drive it forward and just looking forward, really.
Well, good luck. Still smiling. That's the most important thing. Kerryn, lovely to see you. Thank you so much. Well, bear with us as we try and make our way to the end of the boat, because it's a little rocky. You're doing very well. Let me squeeze past you here. And let me introduce you to Siobhan, who is from the British Chambers of Commerce. Siobhan, good morning.
Good morning.
Lovely to see you. We're hearing now from Kerryn about, you know, quite clearly a huge challenge, not least the last 18 months, but particularly the ping problem. The pingdemic has meant that businesses just haven't had the staff. It's been a huge issue, hasn't it?
It has. It's been a significant issue for our businesses. Last month, 50% of our businesses we talked to said they'd had significant issues with staff being off, either ill or self-isolating. So we really welcome the changes today. It's going to be good for our businesses. I think there'll be some issues still in areas like hospitality, you know, where we have a younger workforce and not quite as high a level of double jabbed, but overall it's a really great thing.
Yeah, and I think it's really worth underlining that, isn't it? This change in the rules only applies if you've had both doses of the vaccine. So for particularly some young people, that will not apply. They'll still be forced to stay at home for 10 days.
Yeah, that's right. But vaccination levels continue to rise, so hopefully that problem won't be with us for too long, and businesses can really think about what's next.
Yeah, and thinking about what's next, it sort of feels that in some respects we're getting to the end of some of those day-to-day problems for businesses that have coped with so much over the last 18 months. But we are told that autumn and winter could be very different again. You know, what does business need to hear as far as planning for the autumn and winter?
I think we're hearing that. So what we'd really like to see is a contingency plan in place. So let's look to the next 3 to 6 months and think about, you know, if things change again, which obviously we hope they won't, what can we put in place? So that might be thinking about booster jabs, or if we get another variant where we see case rates going up again, what things can be put in place in terms of business support, like possibly starting the furlough scheme again, or grants that worked really well last time round.
Is it reasonable to expect that there would be contingency plans? Because we just don't know what's going to happen. And we've seen, business has been resilient, it has been flexible over this past 18 months, but we just don't know what's around the corner, do we?
No, we don't. And that's why the contingency plans are so important. So at least we have that in place, because that gives business clarity, it gives them certainty, and then they can concentrate on doing what they do best, which is, powering the economic recovery, investing in jobs. We really want to see business and government thinking about the longer term. So it's important to get through where we are now, but thinking about longer term investment in skills, in global trade, in the levelling up agenda, because we spent all this time getting to this point, and we want businesses to be able to move on from just surviving to going back to growing and thriving.
Yeah, it's so important, isn't it? We're here. Siobhan, lovely to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Siobhan there, the Director General of the British Chambers of Commerce. So there, the thoughts of business as far as, another milestone in that recovery is concerned. It has been a tough 18 months for everybody, but we know too, businesses found it particularly difficult to adapt to some of the changes, lots of rules that they're being asked to put in place, lots of changes they've had to make to their businesses. So today marking an important milestone, but as you were hearing, not applicable to everyone. So remember to check the rules. And also, as Siobhan was telling us, it's worth thinking about what happens in the autumn and winter when things look a little different. The sun was out here earlier on the Thames, but it's looking decidedly more wintry, and it's definitely much rockier on the boat, so I'm going to lean casually.
We were a little worried, Ben, in the studio that your floating bar had become detached from the shore, because we were hearing some kind of boaty creaking noises, but you're secure, are you? Everything okay?
We are tethered to the side, but yeah, I'm reliably informed there are 2 hours of the day when the tide in the Thames lifts the boat off its sort of grounded, it's beached essentially most of the time. So we're now at the whim of the tide for a couple of hours. It just happens that it's the couple of hours that we are here. So
okay.
Yeah.
So hence the dramatic creaking noises. Thank you very much, Ben.
That's not me. It's the boat.
It's the boat, not Ben. We've established that. You're watching Breakfast Time now.